Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to my first ever video on my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the most important, most simple, most effective thing you could possibly add on to your trading system, in my opinion. In my opinion, it is the most effective trading add-on. Now, it's not a strategy. A lot of people get that confused. The quarterly theory is not a strategy. It's essentially like an SMT, for example. It just gives you more confirmation over a trade, okay? And so today I'm going to be talking about it. Very simple in 10 minutes. So let's go. Quarter one, we can expect accumulation, right? So quarter one is going to be a gray bar. First of all, let me actually zoom out here. So quarter one is your accumulation. Quarter two is your manipulation. Quarter three is your distribution. Quarter four will be your trend continuation or reversal. So a lot of times what you'll see sometimes is price do this. Maybe not a lot of times. You'll see this sometimes. I'll not say this always. But if on quarter one, if we see something like, I don't know, trend continuation or a reversal and zero accumulation on this phase, then we can expect the next one to switch around, okay? The next phase, instead of manipulation, it'll be accumulation. The next one after that will be manipulation. The next one after that will be a distribution. And that's only if this switches around. Okay, that's only if this switches around. However, I've noticed on my trades that doesn't really happen that often. Okay, so it's not something you need to worry about. But that can happen. And I'll get into that later on today. So these bigger candles, these bigger bars, are gonna be your cycles. So the bigger candles, right? These bigger bars are gonna be your weekly cycles. These ones are gonna be your daily. These ones are gonna be your 90-minute cycles. Okay. So the bigger bars are gonna be your daily. Quarter one is Monday. Quarter two is Tuesday. Quarter three is Wednesday. Quarter four is Thursday. Okay. Friday has its own system and its own cycle. So that's not really important. What's important is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sunday counts as well because you do accumulation, but again, we don't trade the whole accumulation. We don't really trade accumulation. We trade the manipulation. Okay, we trade the manipulation. We don't trade accumulation. So with that being said, we're gonna move on to the dailies now. So the daily ones are gonna be from 4 to 10 p.m., from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m., from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Okay, this is UTC 7. This is UTC 7. So use your own time zone. And you can just mark it out. Check what time it happens in each single one. Okay. So again, what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? Got it. So this is your accumulation. This is your manipulation. This is your distribution. This is your trend continuation. Now these 90-minute cycles, they don't really matter that much. To me at least, I don't really use them as confirmation or anything if I'm being honest. So yeah. Let's get started, shall we? Alright, so on here, I had a few trades set up here, so we had like two. But of course, one of them I was awake for, the other one I wasn't, sadly, but I'll show you what I mean. So quarter one, what do we see? This is quarter one, right? What do we see? Well, first of all, let me look at the bigger picture. We already passed quarter one on the weekly. What am I expecting on the weekly now? Manipulation. And what do we get? We got manipulation into a higher time frame fair value gap. This is our internal range liquidity, a higher time frame fair value gap, which is on the daily on USDJPY. So this would have counted as a manipulation. And now we're distributing, hopefully back up. So we'll see. I'll explain to you how this works now. So a lot of people would get this confused. Oh my god, we got consolidation, but we got expansion at the same time. So wouldn't it be expansion? No. As long as you see some form of accumulation happen in quarter one, it counts as accumulation. Even if it's the most tiniest bit of consolidation, it counts. Okay, then the subsequent one will be manipulation, then the subsequent one after that will be your distribution. Now with that being said, let's get started. So I knew that price is going to go down because DXY, if you know anything about DXY divergence, I'll explain that in a future video. It is super important. If you know how DXY works and it moves, you'll know what every other pair will move. Trust me when I say that. If you know, I'm going to repeat this one more time. If you know where DXY will move, you will know where every other pair or currency will move, no matter what you do, unless you're a dumbass. Again, unless you're a dumbass, then sure. If you're not a dumbass, then you should know where it should go. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to show it this video. Okay, I'm not going to show it this video. I'm going to show it in a future video because DXY, the divergence, deserves its own video. It is extremely important. If you add that onto your own trade, you can add another. I don't even know. I don't know what your fucking thing is right now, but you can add a lot. You can have a way higher win rate, and that's why my win rate is at 90%. Because I've noticed that with all these add-ons and confirmations on the side, I am able to win all my trades, a lot of my trades. Now let's go. Consolidation on phase 1, right? So we don't trade phase 1, guys. We don't trade it quarter 1 at all. Remember that. We don't trade quarter 1. We trade quarter 2 or 3. If you want, you can trade for quarter 4. I usually don't do that though. Quarter 2 or 3. I mainly trade 3. But if there is a trading opportunity in quarter 2, I will trade that. Because again, you can always trade the manipulation. You can always trade the distribution. Now with that being said, where's this entry? Now, of course, we know the price is going to go down, so that's step number 1. We got that out of the way, okay? So step number 1 is to know the market direction. We know it's going down, because DXY divergence told me that. DXY has told me that it's going to go down, and I get some extra confirmation that it's going down. Now, where's my entry? Because, again, on DXY, my external range was in the same range, so I knew that was going to come down here, so I'm like, okay, exact same range, you know, and it makes sense. It's going to come down for sure. So I knew that, and of course, the price went down, right? Now, where's my entry? Where do I want to be looking for entries here? Well, I'm going to go to the 1 hour. And after I go to the 1 hour, I want to be looking for a unicorn entry to form. So I'm going to go grab this breaker here. And this is our breaker block. If you don't know how breaker blocks are, I'll explain that in a future video. I'm not going to be explaining that right now. But what I will be explaining instead is the unicorn model. So I use the 1 hour breaker. And I usually go ahead and use a 15-minute fair value gap. If there's no breaker on the the hourly, then I use a 15-minute FVG or the 15-minute breaker, and vice versa. So this would be your fair value gap here. So again, a unicorn model is essentially a fair value gap nested within a breaker block. That's all it really is. Again, we saw it displaced the first time, but it came back around, so we knew it was still going to be valid and still be used as a level of resistance. Remember, when price breaks through a level of support or resistance, sorry, comes back in, it should be using a level of support, but of course they displace back through again, so it's still valid. It's still gonna go bearish. So this is my stop loss. I'm gonna take my short from here, right? This is TP1, this is TP2, and what I'm gonna go ahead and do is from here to here, I'm gonna take my entry right around where price overlaps a fair value gap in the breaker. That's where your entry should always be, where it overlaps. Okay. As soon as it overlaps, that's where your entry is going to be. Alright. Now, of course, what I usually do is I slightly have a little bit more. If it's not a 2-to-1 just yet, I usually just make it go a little bit higher, because why not? It's just safer. 2-to-1s are the best, in my opinion. Sometimes 2-to-1s are good as well, but 2-to-1s are the best. And I usually trade 2-to-1 ratios trades. So that's trade 1 now, okay? So, again, accumulation, manipulation, and we got distribution. Now moving on to the second trade here. I wasn't awake for this one, but I'm gonna just show you regardless. So this is distribution, right? We already had the manipulation. This is our manipulation, so I need the price to go down. Distribution, we expect price to go bullish. It's the exact opposite, okay? And remember, the bias on manipulation is gonna be the exact opposite of the bias on distribution. Remember that. Usually, right? I don't remember. Yeah, usually. And that's how it usually works. Sometimes you'll see it sort of the same, where the bias on manipulation is the same as the bias on distribution, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but you know, it is what it is. On this trade, what I would have done is, again, the same sort of model. I knew that DXY was going to go bullish towards these highs. I wasn't really sure on USD though, but I was sure enough on DXY. So what I went ahead and did, if I was, you know, awake during this time, is I saw this unicorn model entry form yet again. So I would have put that as my breaker right there. So we have that breaker block, and within that breaker block, we had that fair value gap right there. So we had that fair value gap, and again, what would I have done? Enter here, take my long position, slightly below that level, This is TP1, and guess what? TP2 is all the way up here. I would take 80% of my profit here, and then the rest of my 20% over here. Alright? So, that would be my trade. This is how quarterly theory works. This is what you want to be looking for on your trades. Again, quarterly theory is literally just confirmation. Don't be using it as a strategy. It's just a confirmation. It gives you confirmation. Okay, that's all it does. If I know we're gonna go long, if my bias is a long and quarterly theory is also telling me to long in this region between 4 and 10, I am going to long. Quarterly theory, around 95% of the time, if not 100%, I haven't really checked all the failures. There haven't really been any sort of failures in the system yet, so we'll see. But for me so far, 100% of the time it has worked. So yeah, that's just how it is. And then quarter 4, you'll usually see one of two things. You'll see trend continuation or you'll see trend reversal. Again, this is my future bias, so if you're seeing this video as of lately, this is how it's gonna go. We see trend continuation, right? Trend reversal. What do we have in distribution phase? Sorry, what the fuck am I saying? Jeez, man. As a look, we have trend reversal in quarter 4, right? And it's going to end at around 4 p.m. So hopefully by 4 p.m. I can see some sort of move into maybe this order block right here, or some sort of PD array that I can go long off of. And as long as DXY gives me the same bias that it's going up, then I will definitely be looking for longs here, going all the way up to these equal highs up here. So that is my plan. That is my entry. Hopefully you guys learned something new today. If you did not, hey, it is what it is. I'll be making some new videos on the quarterly theory, and if you need more help on the quarterly theory, because again, these videos won't help you. You need to go ahead and do your own homework by back testing. You won't understand it fully by not back testing it. You need to fully back test it, guys, okay? You need to understand that. So again, that is my trade. That is my entry. That is my bias, okay? Again, accumulation. We're on the daily cycle in the manipulation phase, so we can expect price to come down here, right? So we knew that our bias was sell, so I sold on the unicorn model in quarter 2. Quarter 3, we knew that we were gonna get distribution, so I knew we were gonna go long game. Okay, ready to go long. On quarter 4, we can probably expect price to come all the way up to these equal highs up here. So that's my bias here. Hopefully you guys learned something new today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll be talking about DXY divergence in the future, breaker blocks in the future, unicorn models in the future, and I'll even be talking about some very interesting things in the future, including some insider trading strategies that a lot of people don't know about, but I do. I know that sounds really odd. How does a fucking teenager know about insider trading, right? I do. Okay, I've researched I put a lot of time into trading. I know how this shit works, okay? I'll explain in the future video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next video.